Assalamualaikum, ma'am.
Walaikum salam. Good afternoon.
Assalamualaikum ma'am, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Walaikum salam. How are you?
I'm fine
I'm
also,
fine,
ma'am.
and you?
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm
ma'am.
fine. And I think we can start after 2 or 3 minutes. Okay, so let us wait for a few more minutes so that all of it,
Okay,
the others can join. Okay.
okay,
Okay
ma'am.
ma'am.
Okay, so I think we can start now, right? So from our previous discussion, we all know what is data, what is data structure, and what are the different types of data structure, right? So our today's topic is we will start chapter 1, which is an introductory chapter of data structure and algorithm. Okay, so chapter 1, that is an introductory chapter of data structure and algorithm. Okay, so we all know that data is any value, right? What is data? Data
Raw
is
fact.
data, yeah, raw fact. That data can be a single value or it can be a set of value, right? And data can be of two types, right? One is group data and another is elementary data. So when the data can be divided into some subparts, that is called group data, such as the student's name, right? The name of a person, it can be divided into several parts. So it's one kind of group data. And what about elementary data? The data that cannot be divided, that is called elementary data, right? One is group data and another is elementary data. So when this data can become information, when I'm writing a name here, suppose the name is ABC. This is the name of a student, right? So this is data, right? So when it can become information, when I'm adding an attribute with this value, at that time the data will become information. When I'm adding an attribute and this ABC is the value of that attribute, right? So now this ABC, this is an information, isn't it?
Yes, madam.
Right? Okay, so when we have now, suppose we have a set of data, how we can store them or where we can actually store it. For organizing for organizing the data, we need some model, right? We need some format. When we have some data, if we want, we can store them for future use, right? So what is data structure? Data structure is a format for organizing or storing the data, right? So there are several types of data structure you can use for storing the data, and each structure has its own way for storing the data, right? And how many types of data structure you can use? Mainly, we can divide the data structure into two types. We can divide the data structure into two types. One is called primitive data structure and another is called non-primitive data structure. What is data structure? This is a model or it can be a format for organizing the data, right? So we can divide the data structure into two types. One is primitive data structure and another is non-primitive data structure. So what is primitive data structure? Where we can use the basic data types such as integer, float, character. What is primitive data structure? Where we can use the basic data type, the fundamental data types which cannot be divided, right? Such as integer, float, character. And what is non-primitive data type? Non-primitive data type is actually one kind of derived data type that is from integer, float, or character. We can create some other data types, and when we're using those data types in a structure that is called non-primitive data structure. Is that clear? What is primitive data structure and what is non-primitive data structure?
Ma'am, can you repeat the non-primitive?
Yeah. So
Primitive
what is data type? Whenever we are using some variable in a program, why we use variable? For storing the data, right? And at the time of variable declaration, we have to mention what type of data that variable can store. What type of data the variable can store. That means we need to know which data type or how many types of data we can use in the program. We know that if we want to use some fractional number, we can use float, double, long double data type. If we want to use some whole numbers such as 1, 2, 3, 4, we can use integer, short integer, long integer. If we want to use some alphabetical data, at that time we can use character data type, right? So can we divide an integer type data? Suppose 5 is an integer type data. Can we divide it? It's a single value, right? We cannot divide this basic or fundamental data types. That's why it's called primitive data type.
Yes, ma'am.
So when we are using this type of data type for organizing some data, or when we are using this data type in a logical model or mathematical model, that is called primitive data structure. And what about non-primitive data structure? Just think about the array. How we can create an array?
So number of integer.
Array is collection, right?
Yes.
We know that array is a collection. It can be collection of some integer type data. It can be collection of float type data. It can be collection of character type data. If I say that this A10, this variable is integer type, that means we can now divide this array variable, isn't it? How many data elements are here? 10 data elements.
Yes,
so this type of derived data type is called non-primitive data structure. So this non-primitive data structure can be divided into two parts. One is called linear data structure and another is non-linear data structure. Okay, so this non-primitive data structure can be divided into two parts. One is linear and another is non-linear. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so now how we can define linear data structure and non-linear data structure? Data structure, that means we are using some format for organizing the data, and when we are using a particular data structure, at that time we have to use its own strategy or technique for organizing the data, right? So in linear data structure, always we have to store the data in a sequential manner. The data should be stored in sequential manner or orderly manner, and there should be some relationship between the data items. So this type of data structure is called linear data structure.
Okay. Can you hear me clearly?
Array, linked list, stack, and queue. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
And
ma'am.
what is nonlinear data structure? In nonlinear data structure, it's not mandatory that the data items should be stored in a sequential manner. But although there should be some relationship between the data elements, but they don't need to be stored sequentially. Okay. So some nonlinear type of data structure is tree and graph. These are nonlinear data structure. So in our today's class, I'll just try to give you a brief introduction about this data structure. So the first one is array. Can I clean the board?
Yes, ma'am.
Sure, ma'am.
Okay. So array, it's one kind of linear data structure, right? Suppose some data items are given, or suppose a list of 5 student name is given. Suppose student, this is the name of the array, and or we know the name of 5 students. Okay. So Suppose is the first student who its name is suppose A, and this is the second student whose name starts with E, then C, suppose G and I. Student is an array which has how many elements? How many elements the student array has? Five
Five
elements,
elements.
right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So how these 5 data elements can be stored in an array? How we can store them in memory? What is array? We can see that this is a one-dimensional array, isn't it? So why is it called one-dimensional array? Because each of these data element can be denoted by one index. We can denote each data element if the array name is student, so we can denote the first data item, that is A, by using student1. Student is the array name and the index, or we can, if we use zero-based indexing, then we can write student 0 equals to A, right? How we can denote the first element, student 0, equals to A, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, so how we can store these data elements in the memory or in the array? Array is collection of similar type of data. That means here, look at this, we are using some alphabetic data. So if we cannot add some numerical data here, array is always a collection of similar type of data, right? So if we are using some characters here, that means the data type will be character, right? And this array has 5 data elements, so we can take how many memory locations we need? 5 memory locations, right?
Yes,
For
ma'am.
storing 5 data elements,
Yes, ma'am.
5 memory locations. And if you're using zero-based indexing, so the location is 0, then 1, 2, 3, 4. 0 to n minus 1, and here n equals to 5. So we need how many memory locations? 5 from 0 to 4, right? So our first data item is A. The first data item is A, which will be stored in the first memory location. We can store A here, right? And then the next data item is E. So where we can store it?
On index.
One index.
Very good. In array, another important thing about array is always the data item should be stored in contiguous memory locations. That means if we are storing the first data item here, now you cannot skip this location and you cannot store it in another location. The data items always should be stored in contiguous memory location. Okay, so if you're using the first memory location for storing A, now the next memory location should be used for storing the second data item, which is E, right? And then we can store C, G, and E. Look at this, we are storing the data in a orderly manner, right? Isn't it?
Yes,
So
ma'am.
this is a one-dimensional array. So if I want to add another student name here, suppose the student's name starts with D, can I store that data here? Can I store another new data
madam.
item in
We
this
have to
array?
define the size of
No, madam.
It's
You
not
have to
possible
increase the
because
size.
the array size is fixed here. The array size is fixed, right? So we cannot store a new data item here. So this is array, which is a linear data structure where we can store the data item sequentially, that is array. Okay, and now the next one is another data structure is linked list. So linked list, this is another data structure. That means we can store the data here. This is also a collection of data elements. But do you know how this array and linked list, how they're different?
Index.
Just like array, in linked list we can store the data, right? But what is the difference between array and linked list?
Madam, indexing. In array, you have to sequential index should be maintained. In linked list, there's no such thing
Okay.
as list, as sequence.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, very good. So in array, we always have to store the data item in contiguous memory location. We have to maintain the sequence. If A is the first data item, it should be stored first, right? If E is the second data item, it should be stored first, but next. But in linked list, we don't need to follow that. Suppose few data items are given, that is 24, 32, 54, 76. So how many items are here?
4.
4 data items. four data items are here. And if we are using an array for storing these four data items at that time, and if the location or if the index of this data item is 1, if it is 2, 3, and if it's 4, at that time, at first we have to store 24, then 32, then 54, and then 76. But in linked list, it's not mandatory that always 32 will be
Hello, ma'am. Can you hear me?
Maybe ma'am is having some net issue.
Yes. Left. Okay.
I think ma'am network is too much poor.
hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am.
Hello.
Yes,
Yeah,
ma'am.
sorry
Yes, ma'am.
for the internet problem. Really sorry for that. Okay, so we're discussing linked list, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And how many data elements we have? Four data elements, 24 plus 38, 26, 50. Okay. So we have this list, not in an array. Okay. And their indexes.
I think the network.
Really sorry for this inconvenience. Okay, so sorry. Link. List. Okay. And the data items are okay. So these are I really don't know why it's happening.
Yes, ma'am. We cannot hear you.
Hello, can you hear me?
And
No,
last
ma'am, I
time,
cannot
last
hear
time
you.
Yes,
your
ma'am.
voice was breaking.
Yeah, I'm having some network issues. That's why I'm. Let me just write the data items again. Okay. So I was saying that the node or the data element will be divided into how many parts? This is a node, okay? And each data element can be represented as a node, and this node will be divided into two parts, right? And the first part, it will contain the data of the or the content of that data element. This is the data, and the second portion, it will contain a pointer value or the address of the next data element. Is that clear? In linked list, each data element will be represented as a node which will be divided into two parts. In the first portion, here we will write the content, the data of that element, and the next portion it will contain a pointer which is the address of the next data element. That is, which data element should be stored next, right? But here, among those four data elements, which one you should choose to store first? There are four data elements, and these are the ordering. These are the sequence of those data elements. So does that mean we have to start with 24? No.
No.
In linked list, we have to use another pointer. We have to use a pointer which is called head or top. And this pointer value, it will always contain the address of the first data item. In linked list, we have a pointer and it will contain the address of the first data item. Suppose the pointer value is the value of head is 2. What does that mean? That means we have to store 32 first. So 32, it will be stored first. Okay. So this is our node. In the first portion, we have added the data 32, and now the next portion it will can you just give me 1 minute for fixing this problem? Just give me a minute. Hello, can you hear me?
Yep,
Yes,
madam.
ma'am.
Hello.
We can hear you, ma'am.
Sir, now can hear.
Yeah. So please just give me a minute for fixing this problem. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Sure, ma'am.
Okay. I just hope it will not happen again. So what is the value of that pointer head? What is the value of that pointer?
Madam, 2.
Hello, can you hear me?
Madam, for your network connection,
So
noise will come.
these are the index of this data. Pointer value, the value of head is 2. That means we will store which data item first? 32.
32.
Right? So after that, which data element will be stored? Which one? It depends on the value of this pointer. The value of this pointer, right? So here, if the value is 3, that means after 32, we have to store 45. This is the address of the next data element which should be stored in the linked list. So at first we will store 32. After that, here you can see that the next data element's address is 3. So you can store 45, right? So 45, this is the content of the second node, right? And here, suppose the address or here the value of the pointer is 4. That means now we can store which data element? This one, 67. So after storing 45, now we'll store 67. So this is the content of the third node, 67. And here we can assign the address of the next node. Okay, suppose the address is 1. That means now we can store 24, right? So this is 24, and look at this. How many data elements we have already stored? 4 data elements, right? So what should be the value of this pointer? What should be, which address here we should, assign? We had in this
Null.
linked, very good. Now, so it will be, or we
Madam, in
simply-
that way,
or we can simply just write 0. We can simply just write 0. Okay?
madam, how, madam? 0 also index.
0 also index.
Can I write 0, madam? Is it possible here?
Hello? What was your question?
Madam,
Yeah, we can write 0. These 0 will indicate this is the end of this linked list. This 0 will indicate that now all the elements are stored here. That means the linked list is now
This time.
complete. So when we are preparing a linked list, when we are storing some data items in a linked list, we need to know the value of this pointer head, or we can write top. Okay, so from this position we have to start. The value of this pointer is 2. That means our first data element should be 32. After that, we can find the next element's addresses from this node. Okay, and after storing the last data elements of that list, now we can assign 0 as the pointer value. This is the address which indicates that now the linked list is complete. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am. Madam, there's no limitation in that case. This array could be a growing array.
Growing array, what does that mean?
That means, madam,
Ma'am, this is
as
not
it's
clear,
going
ma'am.
on and on, there's no limit. If I put null, then it's stopping.
Still, your question is not clear to me. Can you just tell us again what you're actually trying to say?
Ma'am, it's
Madam, is it a growing array because it don't have any size limitation?
It don't have any size limitation. Is that so?
No, when I'm
terms
putting
of
0.
linked list, in terms of linked list, do we need to actually mention the size of that list? It depends on how many data elements are here. Just think about it. And when an array is given, suppose in an array, the array size is supposed 10, but you have only 4 data elements. When you are storing some data item in an array, and when an array or a list is given, suppose the array size is 10, but it can happen that that array has only 4 data items. Isn't it?
In that case, waste of memory. Madam. In array, memory
wasted
wasted.
of memory. And actually, this is the introductory chapter. That's why in this chapter we will not discuss about the complexities, the advantages, disadvantages of this data structure. In chapter 3 for each of these data structures, a chapter is included. Suppose we will discuss about the array in chapter 4. At that time, we will discuss this chapter in detail. Okay, just for now, we need to know how many structures we can use for storing the data and in which or they're following. Okay, we just need to know
Here I have a question.
for now. Is
How
that
the
clear?
head comes
So
and
this
how,
is the second. Yeah.
what is the head indeed and how the
It
head
will
comes?
be mentioned when. Yeah, it will be mentioned. It will be mentioned in the question paper. Okay, so whenever you have to solve a problem related to linked list, at that time a list will be given, and the pointer, this pointer value is also given. The pointer value will be given. After that, you have to create some link. Look at this here. We are actually creating a link. We are creating the link nodes to the second data item, right? And here, this is the address of the next data item, and this is the address of the last data item. So here we are actually creating a link. Okay, we'll discuss about these things in our next classes.
All right, ma'am.
Okay.
All right.
Madam, in
Yeah.
the exam, do you give us code in form of
Code.
code? Yeah.
No. This is all about data structure and algorithm. Okay. You might need to write some algorithms, or some data set will be given. From those data set, you have to create, or you have to store them in any of the structures. So you have to store it in linked list, or in stack, or queue, or you have to create a tree. This type of question will come. Not
Madam,
code.
don't I need to write any code of a language? Just only the normal language code, English, in English, I have to write.
Do we have a lab course here?
No.
No, right? But
Yeah.
whenever we are creating some algorithm, at that time, if you want, you can implement that algorithm in any language, in C, C++, whatever you want. Okay. If you want, you can implement those algorithm in C. In C
Madam,
language.
does C supports linked data, madam? I haven't seen
Okay,
linked list in C.
don't get confused. Don't get confused. Okay, you don't need to actually worry about this code right now. You don't need
Yeah.
to worry about the code right now. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So this is just an introductory chapter. So now you need to know actually which or how many data structure you can use for storing the data. Okay, so at first we need to actually get familiar with different data structures. That is the first thing to do. Okay, and now we'll discuss about another data structure which is called stack. This is another linear data structure. Okay, so this stack data structure is different from array and linked list. So how it is different? This stack data structure is also called last in, first out data structure. Last in, first out data structure. That is LIFO. So have you heard the term before, stack?
Yes, ma'am.
So how we can store the data items in this data structure? Suppose few items are given, or the one data item is given 3. How we can store it? Stack is called last in, first out data structure. That means the item that inserted first will be retrieved last. Isn't it? What is stack, or how we can store the data items in a stack? Suppose initially there is no data element, so initially the stack is it. And when a data element has come, now we can insert it in this empty stack. So this is the first data item which is stored in this memory location. After that, when another data has come, suppose 7, now we can insert the next data item where we can store it. This is the stack. Okay, suppose the name of this stack is A. A is a stack where we have how many data elements? Only one data elements, right? So when a new item has come, where we can store that data? Hello?
No idea.
Where you can
madam.
store the next data item? So look at this. This is the top of the stack. There is only one data item. So when a new data has come, now we can insert it here. We can insert it in in the next memory location. When we had only one data item at that time, the top value was 1. There is only one data item, so this is the topmost value. This is the topmost data of that stack. When we have two data items, 3 and 7, now this is the top of the stack, and we need to know the location of top, because whenever a new data is inserted, or if we want to delete any data from the stack, we always have to delete it or insert it at the top of the stack. The first data item was 3, And then now the second data item is 7. Suppose we have another data item is 10. Now we can insert it. This is the top, right? So we can insert that data item in the top of the stack, but now the top value has changed. After inserting a new data item, now the top value is 3. That means this is our topmost data element. So in stack data structure, we always perform the insertion or deletion operation only on one end, that is the top end of the structure. We always insert, we always delete a data item from the top. That means, look at this 3, that was the first data item, right? But we cannot delete this data item before deleting 10 and 7. That's why stack is called last in, first out data structure. The element that is inserted last, 10 has inserted last, now it will be removed first. And 3, it is inserted first, but we can delete it after deleting all the topmost data elements. When it will be the topmost data element, now we can delete it. Is that clear?
Yes.
So what about if a new data item has come, suppose 14, where you can store it? Obviously in the top. This is the top of
In
the
the top.
stack.
For
But
index.
now after inserting a new data item, the top value has changed. Now top equals to 4, because in this stack A we have 4 data elements and this is the topmost data element. So after performing some insertion operation, suppose now we have to delete the data element 7. In this stack, how many data items? We have 4 data items, 14, 10, 7, 3. And now you want to delete 7, which is in this memory location 2. So how we can delete it? This is stack. All the operations should be done on the top. All the operations should be done in the top, right? So now the topmost data element, top is a pointer here. It will work like a pointer. And top value is 4. So we have to delete these data element first. The data element that is in this memory location, we have to delete it first. So after deleting 14, now the value of top will be 3, right? After deleting 14, now 10 is the topmost data element. That means top equals to 3. So now we can delete 10. After that,
Yes,
now
ma'am.
in this stack, there is only 2 data element and 7 is the topmost data element. So now we can delete 7. Okay, so stack is a data structure where insertion, deletion on all the other operations should be done always only at one end, that is the rear end or top of the stack.
Ma'am, that means
Clear?
we have to input the 14 and 10 again.
Why? Why you need to insert those 2 items again?
Ma'am, if we want to delete only the number 3 item.
No, look at this. In stack, we always denote the insertion operation as push, okay, and deletion operation as pop. Okay, so in this type
Okay.
of stack related problem, always the instructions will be given. The instructions can be like this: push 3, okay, and then again push 7, and then pop 3. So we have to perform these operations sequentially. We have to perform this operation sequentially. I just wrote this data item here, but we usually write some instructions such as push 3, then push 7, push 10. Then the next instruction can be pop 7. Pop 7. So at that time, if 7 is not the topmost element, at first you have to remove all the other topmost elements, then you can remove 7.
Yes, ma'am.
Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
So in stack data structure, all the insertion, deletion operation, that is push and pop, they should be performed only on one end, and this end is called the rear end or top of the stack. So can you just give me a real life example of stack? Think about pile of books. Suppose here you have kept a book here. After that, if you want to keep another book, where you will keep it? Obviously here, within the previous one, right? Above the previous book. Now here we can store another book. So if we want to retrieve the first book that is stored, how we can do it? At first, we have to remove this one.
First two. Yes, ma'am.
After taking the second book, now we can take the
Third one.
first book.
First.
Third.
Right?
This
So
one.
a pile of book, a pile of dishes, these are the example of stack. Okay? And another linear data structure is queue. This is another linear data structure. And this queue is called first in, first out data structure. This is called first in, first out data structure. That is FIFO. So what is the difference between stack and queue? In stack, it's last in, first out. The elements that came later or the last element will be removed first. But in queue, the item that came first will be removed first. It will be deleted first. Okay, that's why it is called first in, first out data structure. So what should be the example of queue? Just think about a line of people, they are waiting for tickets or something like this. A line of people, suppose this is a queue where some people are waiting, right? Just think about our university. We have to maintain a queue, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Suppose
The
this is the
lift.
first person, this is the second person, this is third person, and this is the fourth person. So if the in the lift, or suppose they're here, they're waiting for collecting some tickets, right? So obviously the first person, it will get the ticket first, and then the second person, and then third person, and then the fourth person. So after collecting the ticket, now it will be removed. It can be removed from the queue, right? So queue is called first in, first out data structure. So when some data items are given, suppose the same data set, 3, 7, 10, 14, how we can store them? Suppose initially the queue is empty and the first data item is 3. So here we can store the first data item 3 and its location is suppose 1, right? And another data item, the next data item is 7. How we can insert it? We can insert it in the next memory location. So this is 7 and here we can store it, right? And the third data item is 10. So we can store the data item here 10. And then the last data element is 14. So after inserting 4 data items, now if I want to delete 7, how I can do it? Or if you want, you can organize the
Remove three.
data in this way also. 3, 7. Very good. 3, 7, 10, 14. You can organize them in both this way. Okay. So when we are organizing the data in stack, always we are performing operations in which end? In the rear end, at the top of the stack, right? But what about queue? This is first in, first out data structure. So we are actually inserting the data item in one end, and we have to. There are two ends. Look at this. This is the front end of this data structure queue. This is the last data item, so this is the rear end of this queue. And we always insert a data item, insert new item in queue, in which side, in which end? In the rear end. And we have to delete the data item from the front end because the
Sound is breaking.
first
Yes, ma'am. We didn't
Voice is
understand.
not clear, ma'am.
if we want to delete 7, you have to delete 3. Is that clear?
No, madam.
Ma'am,
Your
couldn't
No,
hear
ma'am.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Ma'am, can
you. Now we can
you
hear
Sorry?
you. Now we
tell
can
me
hear your
again,
soft
ma'am?
voices.
Because
madam, sometime your voice
You
breaks.
can't hear me clearly. Okay, I just said that I can delete them. In queue, we have to. I just don't know what's happening today. Yeah, so I was just saying that in queue, for inserting the data item, we have to use one end of the queue, and for deleting the data item, we can use another end of that queue. So which end we should use for insert to add a new data item, then we can add it. And for deleting a data item, we have to use the front end, because in this side, we always will find the first data element. right? So suppose after inserting 4 data items, now we have to delete 7. So how we can delete 7?
Delete one
If we
first.
want to delete 7,
the
at
front.
first
Three
we have
first.
to
From the
delete
front.
3, right? So after deleting 3, now the queue will be like this: 7, 10, and 14. 7, 10, 14. So now this is the front element. This is the first element of this queue. So we can now delete 7. Okay. So these are 4 different types of data structure which are linear data structure. Okay, so these are linear data structures where we are using different approaches for storing the data item. Is that clear? Do you have any question in array,
Ma'am,
linked list, stack, and queue?
in queue, we will delete the data from front and push the data in rear.
Yeah, push the data
Okay,
in the
ma'am.
rear end.
Okay, ma'am, clear.
Okay, very good. And now we'll discuss about the non-linear data structure, that is tree and graph. So I can share it figure. Look at this figure. What is the difference between linear data structure and non-linear data structure? In linear data structure, the data items should be stored in an orderly manner, right? We have to store them sequentially. But in non-linear data structure, it's not mandatory that the data items should be stored sequentially, right? So tree is one kind of linear data structure where we have to maintain some hierarchical relationship between the data elements. Look at this. Here some data items are given: social security number, name, address, age, salary, dependence. These are some attributes of an entity employee. That means here we are creating a tree for the entity employee, right? So how we can create this structure, how we can store these data item in this tree data structure. The social security number, name, address, age, salary, dependence, all these attributes are denoting to one entity employee, right? So now we can create some sub branches of this branch employee. That means this is the root, the first element that is stored in the tree, that is called the root data item. This employee is a root data item. Now we can create some sub branches from that root element. Okay, so the social security number, name, address, age, salary, dependence, these are some characteristics of the entity employee, right? And how we are actually creating a hierarchical relationship here. Just think about a family tree. How we can create a family tree? At first, we have to take, suppose our root element is suppose grandfather. So from the grandfather, now we can create another level, another branch, which is father, which can be father, right? And now in the next level, we can add all the sons and daughters of the father, right? So those sons and daughters should be stored in another level. So here, look at this. This social security number, name, address, age, salary, dependence, all these attributes are in the same level because these are the attributes of the entity employee. Okay, now look at this attribute name. If we want, we can divide it some other subparts such as last name, first name, middle name. So we can store these data elements in another level, right? And we can do the same thing for this attribute address. We can store the data item in a tree. But how we are maintaining the hierarchical relationship? Look at this. We cannot just store this last name, first name, middle name with the social security number because there is no relationship between social security number and last name, first name, or middle name.
Yes, ma'am.
Isn't it?
Yes.
So the same. This is a first level, right? This is the first level of this tree. That's why we can denote it by a level number 1. And the social security number, name, address, these are the another level, another branch of that tree, which can be denoted by 2. Look at this. For denoting social security number, name, address, age, salary, dependence, we are using a specific level number that is 2. So here the level will be 2. Now these are another sub branch, another level, and all the data items of that level will be denoted by another level number that can be 3. Right? So here, this is another level, this is level 4. So city, state, zip, it will be denoted by another level number 4. Is that clear?
Yes. Yes, ma'am. Clear.
So here, look at this. This is nonlinear data structure. That's why if you want, you can write address before name. We don't need to maintain the sequence here, but we have to maintain the hierarchical relationship between the data elements. That is tree data structure. Okay? And another nonlinear data structure is graph. Another nonlinear data structure is graph. So it's different from tree. Look at this. Here, we are just creating this graph for showing some available flights. In an airport, how many flights are available? Here, we have created the graph for showing those available flights. So this Los Angeles, Chicago, Boston, New York, Philadelphia, Miami, these are some states' names. These are item as node. These are some nodes. So in graph, there will not be any hierarchical relationship, but still you can create some relationship between two data items. We can create the relationship between two data items. Or let me create the graph here. So we want to create a graph for showing the available flights of an airport. Okay, so suppose the states are, suppose A, B, C, D, E. Okay, suppose these are some states name. Now, for these 5 data elements, we can take how many nodes A, and this is B. This is another node C, another data element. This is, here we can take D. So now how we can create the graph? In graph, there should be some relationship between pair of data elements, between two data elements, right? So for creating the graph, for creating the relationship, we need to know from which country to which country the flights are available. Suppose from the country A to B, one flight is available and the flight number is suppose 1. Look at this. Now the relationship between these two states A and B, that means there is a flight from A to B, or there can be a flight from B to A. So how we can create a relationship here from A to B? And we are not using an arrow sign here, so it can be bidirectional. The flights can be available from A to B or from B to A, right? And here we can just assign the weight value here. The flight number is 1, okay? And suppose
Yes,
another flight is available between C to D, and the flight number is 2. So now here we can create a relationship between these two states C and D, and the weight should be 2 because 2 is the flight number between these two states, right? And another one can be between B and E. Suppose between these two states, flights can be available and the flight number is 3. So here we can create another relationship and the weight will be 3. So in this way, we can store the data in a graph. Is that
Yes,
clear?
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So
Yes,
these
ma'am.
are the nonlinear data structure graph and tree. So in tree, there will be some hierarchical relationship, right? That means one sub-branch will be related to the branch. So suppose this is our first level. So the data item of the second level should be related to the first one. There can be this can be denoted as parent node and this is the child node.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and what about graph? In graph, we can just create a relationship between pair of elements. If they're related, if two elements are related, then we can create a relationship. So that is nonlinear data structure tree and graph. So do you have any question in this data structures? Any question?
No, ma'am.
Okay, yeah,
Ma'am,
yeah.
every kind of graphs is nonlinear data structure or the line graphs
Yeah,
only.
graph is nonlinear data structure. Graph is nonlinear because here we are not maintaining in sequence. The data items is not to be, organized in an orderly manner. So obviously, it's nonlinear data structure.
It's
So
it
in
will
the
be,
next class, because yeah,
ma'am, it can be the pie graph or anything. The bar graph, is it possible?
bar graph. Actually, here we'll not use any bar chart or bar graph.
Only the line.
Yeah, but obviously that is still a number. In this course, we'll not use any bar chart.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay.
So in the next class, we'll discuss about some operations of data structure and the time complexity, space complexity, and the time space complexity trade-off. That will be the last topic of this chapter 1. So please respond. Yeah. So 1,
Yes.
Nasir Raihan.
Yes, ma'am.
2,